आज ही डाउटनेट ऐप डाउनलोड करें। डाउटनेट पर होगा अब आपके सभी मैथ्स, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स और बायोलॉजी डाउट्स का सफाया। बस अपने क्वेश्चन की फोटो खींचो, उसे क्रॉप करो और तुरंत वीडियो सोल्यूशन पाओ। डाउनलोड नाउ।
Let us discuss the given problem. In the given figure, we have been given a triangle which is equilateral triangle PQR and OSPT which is a square, and OT is also been given, that is equals to 2√2 units. So we have to evaluate or find the equation of line OT, OS, SP, QR, PR and PQ. First of all, we know that OT is equals to 2√2 units, right? This is the point T and OT is equals to 2√2 units. So if we have to formulate the equation for line OT, then we know that slope of this line is given as 45 degrees, right? So what can we say? If we use the equation y is equals to mx plus c, then we can say that y is equals to mx plus c, right? In this case, the value of theta is equals to 45 degrees and tan 45 is equals to 1. So if we write the value of m as tan 45, that is equals to 1, that is multiplied by x plus c, right? And c is 0 in this case because this line is passing through origin if we assume the coordinates of point O as 0, 0, right? Now this becomes 0, so we can say that equation for line OT becomes equals to y equals to x, right? Now we need to formulate the equation for line OS, right? So this is line OS, right? So first of all, to find the equation of line OS, what do we need to know? We need to know the slope of this line. We know that, and we need to know the intercept of the line. We also know that. So we can easily write the equation for line OS, that would be equal to y is equals to mx plus c, right? And m in this case would be equals to minus of tan 45 degrees because this is measured in clockwise direction, right? So that would be equals to minus of tan 45, that is minus 1, and this is x plus c. Again c is 0 because this line is passing through origin, so intercept on y axis of this line is also equals to 0. So we can write the value of y equals to minus x, which becomes the equation for our line OS, right? Now after that, we need to find the equation for line SP. So this is our required line SP, right? We know the slope for line SP, right? But we do not know any point over that because we need to find the intercept, right? So first of all, we can find the intercept of this line using the coordinates of point P, right? So we need to find the coordinates of point P, and to find the coordinates of point P, first of all we need to find the coordinates of point T. We know that if we have the equation of OT and we know that the distance of point T from O is equals to 2√2 units, so we can say that the coordinates of point T comes out to be equals to 2, 2, right? Now after that, we know that if this triangle is there, that is triangle OSM, in this triangle we can say that OM square is equals to SM square plus OS square. Why? Because this triangle is a right angle triangle and the hypotenuse is OM, right? So we can say that OM square would be equals to SM square plus OS square, and these two sides are equal in length because the corresponding angles are also equal, right? And we know the value of OS. Why? Because OS, PT are all forming a square, so we can say that all the sides of a square are equal. So we know that if OT is equals to 2√2, then OS is also equals to 2√2. So finally we can say that SM is equals to 2√2 and OS is also equals to 2√2, right? So this becomes a square of 16 plus 8 plus 8, that is 16. So we can say that OM is equals to 4, right? So if this is equals to 4 units, then value of coordinates of point M becomes equals to minus 4, 0. Similarly, OQ would be also equal to 4, right? So OM would be equal to OQ and the coordinates of point Q would be 4, 0. Now after that, we know that PSOT is a square, so PO would be the diagonal of that square, and we know that the square is having the sides as 2√2. So we can say that OP square would be equal to PT square plus of OT square, right? And we know the value of PT and OT, that is equals to 2√2. So 2√2 square plus 2√2 square becomes equals to 16, and OP square becomes equals to 16. So finally the value of OP comes out to be 4, and we can easily find the coordinates of point P. That would be equal to 0, 4, because this is lying on the y-axis, right? So now we know the coordinates of point P as well. Now to find the equation of this line segment SP, we know the slope of this line segment and we also know the intercept of this line segment. So finally we can write the equation of line SP. So SP would be equal to y equals to m, that is equals to 45 degrees, so that is again equals to 1, and x is x, and c is basically the intercept of this line over y-axis, and that is equals to 4 units, so this becomes 4. So finally the equation of SP is equals to y is equals to x plus 4, right? Now we need to also find the equation of other lines as well. So the next line is QR. Now to find the equation of line QR, we know the slope of this line, right? We know the slope of this line and we know the coordinates of point Q, right? Now we need to know, for that we know that Q is having the coordinates as 4, 0. So if we write the equation of QR and substitute the value of Q, which is basically lying on our QR, then we can easily calculate the value of intercept, right? So first of all, we know that if we use the concept that Q is a point which is lying on our line segment QR, this suggests that y is equals to mx plus c. M is basically what? 1075, and 1075 is equals to root 3 plus 1 upon root 3 minus 1, right? Instead of x we are going to write x, and now we do not know the value of intercept of QR on y-axis, so we have written c as it is, right? Now we know that 4, 0 is a point which is lying on our line, so we can use these coordinates to satisfy this equation, right? So this would be 0 equals to root 3 plus 1 divided by root 3 minus 1 into, this is equals to what? 4 plus c equals to 0, right? So we can say that c would be equal to what? Minus of root 3 plus 1 upon root 3 minus 1 into 4. Right, so now we have obtained the value of c, and now we can write the equation for QR. That would be equal to y equal to mx, that is equals to root 3 plus 1 upon root 3 minus 1 into x, and the intercept is minus of root 3 plus 1 upon root 3 minus 1 into 4. Right, so this becomes the equation for line segment QR. Now we need to find the line segment for equation for line PR. Right, now we know that PR is a line which is having a certain slope and the coordinates of point P are also known to us, right? So we can easily write the equation for this line segment as well. So PR, basically y is equals to mx plus c, m is equals to 15 degrees, so root 3 minus 1 divided by root 3 plus 1 becomes the values of 10, 15. This is x, and the c is the intercept of this line on y-axis. Clearly this is equals to 4 units, right? So we are going to write this as 4. So this becomes the equation for our line segment PR. Right, now after that we need to find the equation of line segment PQ as well, right? Since PQ is this line which is having a certain slope, right, and the intercept is also known to us, so we can easily write the equation of this line as well. So PQ becomes equals to y is equals to m, and m in this case is equals to the 135 degrees, and tan 135 degrees is equals to what? Minus 1. So this becomes minus 1 into x plus intercept of this line on y-axis is equals to 4 units. So the value of equation of this line becomes equals to y is equals to minus x plus 4. So we can say that y plus x is equals to 4 is the equation for the required line.
क्लास 6 से 12 से लेके नीट IIT JEE मेंस और एडवांस के लेवल तक 10 मिलियन से ज़्यादा स्टूडेंट्स का भरोसा। आज ही डाउनलोड करें डाउटनेट ऐप या व्हाट्सएप कीजिए अपने डाउट्स 8400 400 400 पर।